guitar and welcome to the Best of the Box. 2019 was a killer year for DHA Box of Rock webisode interviews from Crowbot to Alter Bridge, Dorothy, Lizzie Hale, Gavin Rossdale, and more. I had a blast getting up close and personal with so many great rockers. Thanks to our artists, record labels, managers, and publicists, our cameraman Joho, and our paparazzi Joseph Raz. Check out the Box of Rock page at WDHAFM.com for full interviews in the Box of Rock archives. Here are just a few of my favorite highlights in DHA's Best of the Box 2019. Thanks for watching.
I'm going to say Highway to Hell because it made me pick up a guitar, which then made me start to sing. So Highway to Hell definitely got me into music and playing music.
That was the main difference, is that we weren't able to get in the same room together. So, you know, while I was on the road, while Mark was on the road or at home, we were demoing songs separately for the first time, to the degree that we were demoing them. So that was kind of an experiment, but we feel like it actually ended up working. Because then once we all got in the same room together with Elvis, then we could just take them and make them, Alter Bridge. We could make them our own, and everybody puts their sonic stamp on it to make it, the band song. So yeah, it was an experiment I think we're happy with.
It was hard work and dedication, and I was committed to just pouring out my heart and my soul, and speaking my truth, and being clear. I wanted to be understood.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hide. I think early in my career, a lot of times when I would address iffy or touchy things, I would kind of mask it within poetry and analogy and prose, and not really face it head on. And with this record, I think everything that I talk about lyrically is head on.
And you might wear a lot of makeup or a costume or something, but that doesn't have anything to do with the energy that you're putting out. That energy that you're putting out is your soul essence. That's who you really are, and this is all fun. This is dress up, but but the energy you put out and the art you make and the songs you write about, if you're trying to sound like someone else and copy what someone else did, it's just not the same as being yourself. And sure, you can have influence. Like a lot of people say Grace Slick or Heart, which awesome, because those are artists that I love and grew up listening to. And so when you listen to a lot of something, it can seep its way into your subconscious, into your voice and your artistry. But as long as you're being true to who you are. So I don't know.
Actually, that's a great question, because I think the first one was on Hee Haw, where it was at Orange Blossom Highway, and that's what made me want to play guitar. I was like shocked, and that was one of the epiphanies I had. And I'd say number 2 was I Stole Your Love, Kiss, because that was the very first, I was 7 years old, and I just put on that song. I think I put it on the wrong side, but I was like so shocked, and it really changed my life.
I think that was the third verse I'd written for that song, because we had this great verse, and the verse is so great. It pulls you in, and it's just like bam, and I could never get the chorus to pop until that the third chorus, and then it just kind of opened up. And the song's about just I was kind of frustrated with a lot of things in our life at that time. Stevie and I, we were going through a lot of stuff, and I felt like, gosh, we got to make the record of our career once again. We're backed up against the wall, and it's hard to make that statement and then just go in and just, feel free and just go in and write whatever comes to your head. You have this whole weight of the world on your shoulders. So that's what came out, and it really made for a great melody.
Thank you. What's weird is that I had written a bunch of songs, and when I went in there, I explained that everything was much heavier that I wanted to do, and all the stuff that I've been doing was super detuned. And I think that and what the process, how it happened, is that he picked up a guitar and it had this depressor pedal. He wanted to show me, he's breaking the ice with me. And so he started playing, showing me this pedal. You know, I didn't overly care about it, but it was like a sweet moment of like, you know, he's like, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah,
We
right,
already had
right.
3 lunches together
Right.
before we were going to work together, getting to know each other. He'd seen a show, and he started playing this riff, and I began recording him because it was like, you know, that's what I do. You know, like something, and I start boom, voice record, and then we sat down. And he played 3 bits of music that he thought we should start something with. And so I played them, they were okay. And then I was like, but I really like this. And I took it out. And that song was the first song that we did.
Now, did you know it was going to be for a movie soundtrack then?
Well, the reason to write with him was really to try and get on some movie soundtrack.
You've always had an interest in doing that. And you know what? I can see that because the songs to me are always so visual. There are certain bands where songs are very visual. And there's bands that are loud and you're headbanging and jumping around and stuff. But the Bush songs are always very visual, I think. And you're,
Cinematic. I love that.
yeah, definitely. You're a visual writer. So I think that the teaming of the two of you is just perfect now.
It's really good. And so we began on that song. But, you know, the weird thing is that Bullet Holes we did is one of the 4 songs we wrote together. Was never seen as the first single or anything like that. It was an outlier in the sense of that and leading the race. And so I'm really excited for people to hear the record because it's not like Bullet Holes is this sort of like the one song that's good and the rest are kind of turkeys.
Yeah, right.
It's not a turkey sandwich up.
You know, I think that you know, when we got the final mixes and I was able to listen to it as a piece of art, you know, from, you know, song 1 to song 14, I felt like it was really special that we had done something really, really great. I had no idea that it would transform our lives and go, you know, make us, you know, a world-known band, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're dreaming of those things. Of course, you're
Number 1
working
rock
to them.
record for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you're dreaming of those things, but you're not. You know, you have to be wild and crazy enough to, you know, dream about it and expect it and do all that stuff. But at the same time, it's always you're never prepared for it. You know.
You know, but it's funny because like I talked to my dad about that. I'm like, you know, I can now trace that back to now what my mission statement is like just owning your weird. You know, that's kind of been like my MO in life. And I feel like you can trace it back to that moment where you're like, wait a minute, why do I love this music? Well, I love this music regardless of whether anybody else likes it, but that's hard sometimes for a kid, you know.
And now you're out with Alice.
Yeah, and now we're out with Alice. So it's like one of those things where like there would not be a Miss Hyde without Alice Cooper. So yeah.
And even better than that, he's a fan.
I know, it's crazy. Like he has all these things, and then so he's getting me up every night to play Schools Out with him.
Yes, I saw the footage.
And it's one of those things where like, man, you know, like we said, like I've been in a band for 22 years. I put on my leather jacket. Like I feel cool. And then you get out there and he looks right at you and you're like right back to when you're like 11 years old. Like, this is the guy.
You look next to you and you're
so
just,
nice.
You can't believe it. Yeah, he's such a
So what happened was my parents got divorced when I was really young. My dad introduced me to Aerosmith, right? It was actually the Permanent Vacation record. And then like the following weekend, I was with my mom on the weekend with my stepdad, and he had Toys in the Attic in the tape deck in the car, and I'm looking at this like winged logo that I remembered from the other record, and I was like, wow, are these, because they're 2 completely different sounds.
Oh yeah.
But then I realized they're both Aerosmith, and then maybe 5 years later I had every Aerosmith record. It was my first concert. Met Steven and Joe before the first show. It was a good intro to rock and roll, and then you see them doing their thing on stage and you're like, that's what I want to do for my life.
That matters.